A lot of students have this question that, sir, will marks increase after verification by the CBSE board in the CBSE Class 12 revaluation? Let me tell you, your marks might increase or decrease. You don't know that. Why? Because it all depends on the CBSE examiner who actually reevaluates your answer script. Because reevaluation is actually a long process. It's a three-step process. The first step is retotaling of marks, in which the examiner will check if marks are given for each question and then add up all of the marks and check whether the marks which you got is correct. So that is actually summing up all the marks. That's retotaling. Okay, that's the first stage. The second stage is when you apply for photocopy of your answer script. So you want to check your answer script, whatever you've written. So when you apply for photocopy, you will get the answer script. And the third and the last stage is revaluation. So in revaluation, you will actually challenge the CBSE board to check the questions where you have answered correctly, but CBSE has not given you marks. So how do you check that? So you will first and foremost go through the marking scheme provided by the CBSE board, and whether your answer is matching the marking scheme, then you can challenge those questions. Otherwise, don't challenge simply, and you cannot expect marks to be given simply by the CBSE board. So you have to understand this concept that CBSE will reevaluate your answer script based on all of these processes. It will check whether your answer script your answers which you've written is matching the marking scheme provided by the CBSE board. If it's matching, then CBSE will give you marks. If it's not matching, the CBSE will reduce your marks. So it all depends on how you've written the answers. If you've written the answers according to the marking scheme by the CBSE board, then you can confidently see an improvement in your marks. Marks will increase. Otherwise, marks will remain the same or marks will decrease. So you all have to understand that reevaluation doesn't guarantee an increase in marks, but marks can increase only if you have written your answers according to the marking scheme provided by the CBSE board. The CBSE has already given grace marks for many students. Now, many students have received grace marks, right? So if you are expecting marks above the grace marks, then you apply for verification. Otherwise, don't apply for verification because marks will not increase after the grace marks, because grace marks have already been given. If you expect yourself to increase your marks after the grace marks, then it's not possible, because if your marks are coming out to be less than the grace marks, then after verification, your marks will remain the same. It will not increase above the grace marks which is given. So I highly advise my students to only apply for verification or revaluation if you're 100% confident that your marks will increase and you have written the answers according to the marking scheme provided by the CBSE board. Otherwise, don't send for verification and take unnecessary risk which will spoil your career.